Hello there, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we have another RENEKTON deck, as we're going to showcase RENEKTON the White Knight in a combination with Demacia that I've been wanting to explore again. I did showcase this region combination before, but it was mostly labeled as a Jarvan deck, even though RENEKTON here did the most work. You know, I can name him for his actual name too, in case you're wondering. Let's go back to RENEKTON though. RENEKTON is really neat with Demacia and with cards like Cataclysm. So I wanted to re-explore this archetype, especially considering Jarvan 4 was buffed in the latest balance patch. And I had a lot of fun with this deck. There's a lot of neat things, and I do believe this is definitely an upgraded version of the list. So let me go down run you down through the units and through the 11 spells that I've chosen to run, right? I've tested this deck more so than the others that I've built recently because it's gone through several different phases, right? As there are some issues with running a deck like this in the current meta. Well, first of all, Thresh Nasus is very prevalent right now, naturally, and any deck that doesn't run Frostbites or Hush is incredibly vulnerable to it. If you're running Ionia, you can have access to Denies to try to deny the Atrocity, but if you don't really have, access to the cards that I mentioned, pretty much every deck struggles a lot against it, because no matter what you do, no matter how you're able to combat their curve and everything, it's not about being able to catch up with what they're generating on board. The problem is their finisher. The finisher of Nasus with Spell Shield into Atrocity is just absolutely unbeatable for a lot of decks right now. I believe this deck is actually very oppressive, despite the fact that a lot of people not a lot of people, like some competitive players seem to disagree. Others do agree, though. I do feel like it is very oppressive because of what I just stated. Even though there are some perks to running, for example, RENEKTON against that deck, and it's the fact that your boy RENEKTON here can actually one-shot the likes of Thresh after challenging him, because he goes up to 6 power. And that's a very big deal, right? As we are running the likes of not only a couple of copies of Ruthless Predator, which is his own signature spell, which means that if we draw more RENEKTONs, they will convert into the Ruthless Predator themselves, but we also have a full set of the Penitent Squire, which, if we behold an elite, allows us to create a Tattered Banner in hand. So I'm talking about Thresh Nasus because earlier today I did a Twitter poll asking people what they believe should be nerfed from the deck. And the immense majority, like, we're talking about Atrocity, right? And I do agree. I believe, that deck is a really cool deck. And I also believe if Atrocity is made slow speed, it will give aggressive decks like this one a chance to out-tempo the Atrocity late game with open attacks. And I think that's very, very important, because besides that, believe it or not, I love Thresh Nasus as a deck. I think it's a really cool archetype. I love the synergies. I love the fact that Thresh is back at the top of the meta, and I think it's a really, really cool list. But just because something needs to be toned down does not mean I automatically hate it. More than anything, I hate Atrocity in its current shape or form, and I have hated the card for quite some time now. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and you guys can let me know what you think. You can agree with me, disagree, we're open to discourse, but I want to, be upfront about these things, because a lot of times when I speak up my mind regarding balance issues, there's always a bunch of people who take it the wrong way and just think that I'm like hating on stuff. And yeah, I'm not gonna stop, voicing out my opinions because of that. So at least the very least I can do is clarify, right? So back to the deck tech. Enough rambling. Let's talk about what we're running here. So in order to enable Penitent Squire consistently, we need to run a certain amount of elites. That's one of the tricky aspects of deck building when it comes to this archetype, right? We need to find just the right amount of elites, despite the fact that we're not an elite deck. I will be looking into making a potential elite deck in the future, but as of now, we are not really that, right? We're trying to enable her as consistently as possible, though, so we're trying to find cards that work well with her that happen to be elites as well. Obviously, the Honored Lord comes into mind. Very, very good unit that is designed to work well with the Penitent Squire. They even appear in the same art. It's not, what's the word? Casualty? Coincidence. Not casualty. So we got him, but we got other options as well. As you guys can see, we have a one-off of Green Fang Warden and a one-off of Vanguard Sergeant. They are technically, in a way, meant to be my 2 extra copies of Vanguard Redeemer, if that makes any sense. Vanguard Redeemer is really good because it provides this deck with something that otherwise it would be lacking, and that is card draw. And also being able to draw into units enhances our chances of drawing into champions, for example, while having a decent stat line as a 3/3, you know, for 3 mana, and being an elite in the process. Really important. I like Green Fan Warden because he can synergize well with Cataclysm and give us a rally effect, and you know that is my favorite champion. And he can also work well with the Penitent Squire. Giving him Challenger can actually allow us to take down 2 low health units and also progress towards Jarvan's level up thanks to the barrier. So, despite all these synergies, he's still a 3 mana 2/2. There's a lot of scenarios in which he's very underwhelming, which is why I only like running him as a one-off. But as a one-off, he does pull his own weight, and I'm very happy with him. Vanguard Sergeant is a 3 mana 3/3 that instead of drawing us a unit like the Vanguard Redeemer, will give us a 4 Demacia that can actually be very strong. If we manage to spread out in the late game, we can go for a 4 Demacia if we're facing a deck that does not have board wipes, or if they do have potential board wipes, if we have Rite of Negation in hand, we can go for it anyways, buff up our board, and then try, like, if one of those units is Reggaeton, for example, with the Overwhelm, like, these stats and all of our vulnerable procs can allow us to get the right trades or get the blockers out of the way and dish out a shitload of damage, right? So that's why I like Vanguard Sergeant as a one-off in this deck as well. Speaking of other one-offs, we're taking the same approach. I like a lot, when it comes to my curve for mid-range decks, a lot of times I like the approach of, especially for like 3 drops and 4 drops, I like going with 5 and 5. It just works for me. I feel like sometimes running 6 4 drops can be a bit of a liability, and like the difference between 5 and 6 is you don't notice, like you don't miss out on the curve the vast majority of the time, and it just feels like a very, very sweet spot regarding numbers for me. English. So I have 3 copies of Reggaeton, which means I like to run a one-off of Bakai Sand Spinner. And if it wasn't for the fact that I'm running triple Cataclysm, I would be running 2 copies of him. But I like Grizzled Ranger as well. Grizzled Ranger can work with Cataclysm. It can also provide me with a scout attack that can summon Jarvan and allow me to attack with him the following, or in the same turn. So that's why I'm running a one-off of each. We have a couple of copies of Concerted Strike alongside the Rite of Negation that I mentioned, the triple Cataclysm, the double Ruthless Predator. We're not going 3 because we got Reggaeton and it's a signature spell, so I don't feel like I need to go 3. And 3 copies of Sharpsight. Some of you may be wondering, why no Exhaust, Miguel? Exhaust is technically most of the time better than Ruthless Predator because it costs one less mana. And that's a very big deal. The problem is, when you're trying to level up Jarvan, a lot of times Exhaust can work against you because there's a lot of units, especially in the early to mid stages of the game, that have 2 attack or less. By having 2 power or less, if we apply Exhaust onto them, then all of a sudden they have 0 power, which means that they don't retaliate, which means that they don't allow us, or they don't contribute towards our Jarvan level up, because we have to survive a strike. In order to survive a strike, we have to receive at least some damage. Even if we have a barrier, they have to strike the barrier and trigger the barrier, because if you strike with a barrier on a 0 power unit, your barrier will not go away, in case you didn't know. So it's important for us to be able to challenge units but take damage from them back, which is why Ruthless Predator, which can allow us to push for more damage, and Sharpsight, which can allow us to beef up our units and enable them to survive blocks, is really important. Sharpsight also very key in helping us survive against elusive strategies in general, right? Really, really good card that you generally run in Demacia no matter what, right? So that's that. And we have a great Coding Companion because we like him a lot with Cataclysm and with Jarvan. I'm a big fan of this 5-drop into the 6-drop. And that is basically the deck list right there. Regarding the mulligan, you just want to go for an early curve. I also have Preservarium to give us a little bit of extra card draw because we can very easily run out of gas with this build. So as I was saying, we have to try to make sure that we have an elite. Sometimes we can keep something like a Jarvan in our opening hand if we have no other elites and a Penitent Squire in the opener. Keep that in mind. And it's not bad to keep Jarvan in hand because his signature spell happens to be another Cataclysm, which is pretty useful as well. So ultimately, sometimes you can actually justify keeping a 6-drop like Jarvan in that regard. If you have Reggaeton in your hand, you always keep him. If you have 3 drops in general, it depends on how many you have, but generally you want to be trying to curve out properly, right? It's okay if you miss out on a 3-drop or a 2-drop because you can carry over that spell mana and enable stuff like Cataclysm and Ruthless Predator and Sharpsight for the mid stages of the game. And that's basically where I'll leave it at. A bit of a long deck tech, but I think I went over a lot of things and I explained the deck properly, so I'm happy with it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did for some reggaeton, some gasolina, goddammit. And that's where I'll stop talking. Have a good one. Thank you for supporting my videos and watching every day. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a solid day. Enjoy the games. And again, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright. I'm happy we queue into this like round 1. Because this is a matchup that I really want to showcase, right? with all my decks. I'm not saying this is a matchup designed for this deck specifically, but it's important for us to be able to handle this sort of deck. Yeah, if the list is worth sharing, in my opinion. We're going to keep the Ruthless Predator and Reggaeton. We're going to drop Green Horde Companion. I like Vanguard Redeemer as well, just because she can net me some value. I'm going to pass. Because their turn 2 play is very likely to be either Curse Keeper or Fading Icon, right? So
there you are.
This can encourage a Blighted Caretaker out of him. We're gonna pass. We're gonna take the damage.
I've trained my whole life for this.
Play Grizzled Ranger and try to apply a little bit of pressure here. Reggaeton is nice and all, but I want to play him when I can actually utilize a vulnerable spell with him.
Here we go.
Give them a chance.
I'm gonna keep this Vanguard Redeemer in the back because I don't want to trade it with a Fading Icon. We get 6 damage thanks to this Grizzled Ranger, so low key pushing some very necessary damage for us here. Really important. We have several options here. We could go 3-drop into 2-drop, especially if he goes for an attack, because we are encouraged to play.
The desert by my side.
I really wanted to search his attack here, so I'm gonna go ahead and
My shield is yours.
use Bryce Steel Protector onto my Grizzled Ranger.
Oh, fresh water.
They drag these 2 out. I trade into this. That's 4, 7. That's too much damage. I can't really justify this. I have to play you. Next turn, I'm gonna have a total of 6 mana and 1, which means
Discipline and steel. Sand and blood.
How many cards has he slain? Slain a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stand strong.
I protect my own. Yep, time for discipline.
My siblings.
Time to get rowdy. There's nowhere to hide. What is darkness to the unseen? Chase him down. No surrender.
For our allies.
Dissident. Your time in the cycle is done. You'll get what all my enemies do, a quick death.
You are my brother, Renekton, not my enemy.
It's too fucking big, dude. He's actually too big.
Look what good comes of mortal greed.
If he has Atrocity, I'm dead.
See what we see. So
How dumb is that, man? Like, legitimately, how dumb is that?
Today we turn the tide of war.
Azir's command!
For the humans. Strike me!
Foolish.
I will wet my blade on their bones! A duty fulfilled, a life undone.
This is why I'm a big, like, this is why I really advocate for Atrocity being slow speed, because the fact that he can win here by just Atrocity me is ridiculous, and it's really frustrating.
Chase them down! Cut them down! Face your end!
We gotta hope they don't have it. That's good. That's... Alright, round 2. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna act like I'm totally not upset about that game. Like I'm really tired of Atrocity as a card, man. I'm really tired of, like, we have a combat based game and a card that just completely ignores that and deals an obscene amount of damage, man. It's just so stupid. Like, compared to Decimate, and you start getting an idea. It's really annoying. At this point, it's just annoying more than anything. Let's keep this hand, and let's see what we get here. Okay, so we got the Great Horde Companion, which is nice. It's funny because I was tweeting about Atrocity earlier.
Would you look at this place?
Because they have double Dune Keeper. Surprising that he does. That must mean he has Misfortune. But this also means that he can't play her on curve.
Discipline and steel!
I like Vanguard Sergeant here. But yeah, I was tweeting about Atrocity earlier. Like, I did a poll.
What is it for you?
Glory unrelenting!
Gonna catch the sky.
Dissident!
Son of a cat steer.
This trait is really neat. It allows us to... progress Jarvan's level up. So like I was saying, I tweeted about Atrocity earlier today. Like, I did a poll.
Sun's beneath me.
In case anybody's wondering that game is what cost me to make that poll. Like, I was salty. I'm like, oh, let's make this poll. No, I did that. Like, I didn't play it all that day. It's just how I've been feeling about it. All right, so
If it's made of sand.
I can write it. I like this rock hopper again.
Watch me.
I would target the unit that's oh. Alright. Interesting. I could play Great Horn Companion. I like Reggaeton, but Great Horn Companion really applies pressure here. Also helps me level up Jarvan as well.
The soul wears away like grains of sand.
March!
Move. My board.
My time has come.
That's 2 stages for the level up, which is really neat. We have Sharp Sight as well to protect ourselves a little bit, or to enhance our dude. I have card draw, but I don't really need it, except that I don't have an elite, so I actually do. So monkey see, monkey do, I guess.
As I live, all will die.
They appeared out of nowhere.
I could have gone for the Cataclysm.
No surrender.
Today we turn the tide of war.
Whoo! There's your boy! Alright, Jarvan. Let's do this.
The sky. Prince Jarvan. Thank goodness you're all right.
Steady yourself, Squire. There is fighting to do.
Whoo! Nice! We got another card draw here from the Preservarium. We got Fort Demacia with Cataclysm. It's got some predict units, okay.
I don't want to eat whatever woke you up.
And thankfully,
Violence, chaos, and destruction.
we don't have to worry about a fast speed card that will kill our Nexus from 16 health. Because that happens. That happens. Wait, what? Daddy? A predict treasure deck? Oh, I gotta try something like that. I don't know if I would go offensive with Misfortune and Reggaeton, but that gave me a really cool idea. What? Oh my god, dude. I mean, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna wait for him to play. Like, the thing about the treasure stove is that he has to play those cards, right? So I don't have to do anything. I can just wait, see what he does, and then I could try to set up a lethal. Because I do have,
Making that bloody face that you make. I am worried.
he got a Kahiri! He got a Kahiri, are you shitting me? Oh my goodness, okay. Okay. Alright.
Cut them down. Face your end.
No time to waste.
You would test my steel? Stand strong. You don't understand.
That's a lot of damage.
Away with you.
What if he has like a Decimate or something? Can you believe his last card? Unless his last card is Decimate, I'm gonna go ahead and play those odds. The reason why I'm blocking this and this, I want this Kahiri to be the weakest. So I'm gonna play you.
As I live, all will die.
And now we Cataclysm. Before deny. Nope. Oh. I was like, wow. Alright, we got it, baby. That was a game. That gave me a really interesting idea, though.
Crack their bones, then we feast.
I'll get back to you guys with that one. Karma Anivia. I take my rank too much. I'm facing all sorts of random stuff. I need to climb a little bit to try to face more meta decks. I would like to go at it again with Reshnas's. I do believe there are some ways we can beat the deck. We're gonna drop Jarvan here, I believe. I'm gonna keep one Vanguard, Redeemer, and Sharpside because they're likely to play Avalanche to deal with our board. So having card draw and the potential to dodge that sort of removal is really neat. Them having the attack token on turn 2 is pretty relevant because if they have Avarosa Sentry, they're likely to play it now, right? Which means we won't be targeting that with the Roiling Sands. Alright, that's not what I was expecting. I haven't seen that. I didn't even remember that card existed.
you look at this place?
I'm just gonna double up, man.
Tales of our
Too slow, stupid.
Nani? Let's pass for now. Okay, this is nothing. This is nothing like what I expected. This makes no sense. Like Karma and Ivia, but with. I don't understand. I'm gonna play this.
Years take, experience
And the Honored Lord.
I go!
Heel dog. I've learned a trick or two.
I'm gonna utilize an offensive sharp sight to try to eliminate that. Okay. We get to progress the level up 2 stages, which is really neat.
Here in your time of need.
Remember the fall.
Remember the fallen. I'm gonna go heavy on the card draw. Try to see if I can go wide.
For my homeland! Out of my way! Strike them down! My board!
Maybe I could have gone for the sharp side, but I'm okay with this. I think I do want to play. Kind of. I mean, he could have an avalanche very easily. I'm gonna play the scout. The Great Horn Companion can allow me to start things off with an attack.
Where there is life, there is hope.
I assume they have like dawn and dusk. Jarvan would be nice to pick up here. Very nice, in fact. Yu-Gi-Oh! God damn, we don't get him. That's 16 cards in our deck, and we don't find any champions. Cry every time. Attack. I don't want to reveal the fact that I have the Penitent Squire in case he... In case I somehow encourage him to trade with Anivia.
I must reach the king.
The young prince will be found.
Again, avalanche could be a thing, but I do really want to go wide.
They will sing of our deeds.
And keep my concerted strike open.
I protect this place.
I'm surprised he blocks.
Has its cost.
Could he have Ice Shard? He could have an Ice Shard, so I'm gonna play around that. Nice.
Your prince needs you.
I get to eliminate Karma, which is a big deal. I still don't know what I'm facing, but... Okay, there's my boy. It took you a while.
A tune of courage for our companions.
Ah, Nani, man. Nani, that's all I got. I'm gonna pass.
Let's soar!
You don't understand.
Blow winds and crack your cheeks.
Rest in ice.
Oh, okay, for a second. That delayed a bit.
Our ancestors are watching.
Alright, now we get all the Jarvans. Oh, we got double Great Horn Companion. Oh, it's because of the ordering. Oh, that's hilarious. Alright. Let's attack scouts.
You must come with me at once. Barret, let's see these fools off first, huh?
Alright. He needs a Winter's Breath, which is a likely card to have. Oh. Alright.
My spirit is an unquenchable fire.
I still don't understand, like, the Greenglade Elder.
Where there is life, there is fire.
The Freljord's eternal guardian! All our allies.
If you hurt him.
I've learned a trick or two.
So this will allow me to level up Jarvan, even though I would lose this one. But yeah, I'm killing. Okay. That was a deck.
Sweet wife to a ragged.
We fought again.
Raise our banners. Demacia prevails.
Viva España! Alright, we're back to the meta decks. So Zoe Aso looks like an interesting matchup. Like, this could be cool. I kind of just want to keep my Jarvan in hand, man. And I will. Because then I regret not drawing him. Super greedy, but I mean, I got the Penitent Squire enabled, so...
They appeared out of nowhere.
This is a hand I'm content with. Like, it's a decent curve.
Reality is just your mind crumbling under what it doesn't understand, silly.
Carry over the spell mana.
Paradigm shift time.
Alright, you guys good Zoe value there.
We must all do our duty.
I'm gonna get Tattered Banner onto Vanguard Sergeant. I can just threaten this Zoe from the get-go. I could play the Rockhopper. If he plays something like a Sharp Side, it's a trade for trade. And he can't really block the Penitent Squire,
Glory unrelenting.
because he will be enabling my level up. Alright, that's one stage. I also like the idea of Bakai Sand Spinner if he plays another Zoe, just nullifying it.
Look at this reality. Look how sparkly.
No,
Observe the price of ambition.
I won't look.
Forged in dragon fire.
Alright.
Ready weapons.
Renwall.
If it's made of sand, I can write it.
I'm gonna play the Rockhopper here. Alright. I could counter this, but I don't want to.
Avenge me.
Today we turn the tide of war.
So I get to play the Vanguard Redeemer. And I get to preserve Right of Negation from something else.
We wear red.
One of the fallen.
We strike.
Moving. Dizzy.
I don't really get to progress my level up further, but I do get to clear his board.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way.
I do like this Greyhorn Companion here, because I can just work for a Jarvan play next turn. Could find an Equinox though. Take away the Scout. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. I think, like I said, I like Jarvan here.
For our
make a ruler, but actions make history.
Back, heretic.
To the flag!
Sun's beneath me and winds behind me.
I have this sharp side that I can preserve.
Barrett, did my father send you?
He did indeed. I see you've made friends.
I'm happy I went with that decision. All right. I'm gonna go for the Demacia. And I'm gonna try to muscle him this way.
We will not hesitate.
If you hurt him, you won't leave a scratch.
Expecting a judgment, which is why we have this round of negation here. He's telegraphing a judgment really hard. By attacking in this order. Yeah. GG, Circola! GG! Run, round of negation.
Fine work, soldiers. Fine work.
Alright, Lysandra Trundle, but with Ionia. A more combo-oriented version. We're gonna keep one Honored Lord and the Ruthless Predator. Okay, that's a neat curve. We gotta watch out for stuff like Avalanche. But considering the matchup, besides, you know, the AoE removal from Freljord, they don't have stuff like Vengeance, right?
Help!
Somebody help!
Just a little farther.
If they're out there,
I'll spot him.
Sun's beneath me and winds behind me.
in Avarosa's name.
I'm gonna pass. I could have attacked and enabled the Vanguard Redeemer. Probably should have done that in hindsight, but I really wanna
Safeguard our homes.
Make way! My message.
Remember the fallen.
I want to make it awkward for him. Like, it's a trade that I wanted to go for, but like I said, by not attacking last turn and getting him to attack now, it puts him in an interesting position.
I must reach the king.
Alright.
We must all do our duty.
This'll take the chill off.
For our allies.
The problem with this line of play is that I'm opening up for an Avalanche. But I want to progress the level up. Considering the matchup, what is more important, right? What is more important?
I mustn't stop.
This is more important. By doing it like this, I still preserve the Vanguard Redeemer. I get more damage on him as well, which is more important. Okay, he just keeps on trading. But like I said, leveling up Jarvan is nice, but I don't think it's a priority here. We have to smork him a little bit. It's nice to see Jarvan though. If he plays Trundle, the threat still lies, right?
King of Trolls coming through.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
I'm gonna play the Grizzled Ranger, because if he does have an Avalanche, he has to go for it now. If he had an Avalanche, he would have gone for it, like 100%. But at the same time, I don't need to like play that because I'm gonna attack with the scouts anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I do have to play this. Oh, fuck it.
Years take experience.
If he had an Avalanche, he would have played it. Like, there's no way he would have played it. He would not have played it. Yeah. Like, he would have to be incredibly reckless otherwise.
Jarvan, you must come with me at once.
Barrett, let's see these fools off first, huh?
I don't think he has an Avalanche at this point. He may have an Ice Quake, but in order to do that, he has to keep Trundle alive. But unless he top decked it now, he does not have an Avalanche. He would have played it. We have to believe that. And we have to play optimally with that information. This is the biggest weakness of this kind of deck, right? It's less. It has less interaction. It has Frostbite, sure, and such, but it relies really heavily on drawing their AoE. And even then, it can be played around, right?
They realize they've already lost.
Let's not get too cocky, Jarvan. Let's not get too cocky. Because I definitely think Frostbite. Oh, okay.
For the flag!
Again, he ain't got Avalanche.
Come on in.
Watch me.
It doesn't matter. I don't have lethal on him regardless.
Prepare yourself. We move soon.
You've hurt him. You won't leave a scratch.
Your attack is obvious.
I give the buff to the Rockhopper because it is the weakest unit, the most frail unit. Eliminating Trundle, very important. Very, very important. It would be nice to be closer to Jarvan's level up, but like I said, we had to play around certain things. There's Reggaeton. I just hope he doesn't like some. I don't see how he can enable the combo. Like we've eliminated Lysandra in that sense. Alright. Well, if he has Go Get It. But he needs, like, he can't play Go Get It and play the Ice Pillar again, right?
The dark beckons. They cannot hide. I will play my part.
Where I go, carnage follows.
If he has the Avalanche now. He could have Frostbites very easily.
Today we turn the tide of war.
What will you have?
Pride was my end, as it will be yours.
He can't Ice Quake because if he does, I just kill him with the. Wait, no, he's healed quite a bit actually. Never mind. I had a bit of a brain fart there.
Silent
I forgot that he's healing, you know? Alright. And now we do this. We don't need to buff. Realistically speaking, we need to just disperse our power output as much as we can. Which means playing around Brittle Steel. So that means buffing you.
What are you waiting for? I am their end. No surrender.
Drag you here.
We will not hesitate.
Drag you here.
We strike.
Here. And we threaten lethal from all these different angles. 5 damage on Reggaeton, 5 damage here from Loyal Badger Bear, invulnerable to Brittle Steel. Not saying this lethal is like absolutely guaranteed by any means, because he still has the ability to harsh winds. But pretty close to that. And we got him. Go back next time.
Savagery and carnage forever.
Yeah.